So the 90th Annual Academy Awards were last night, and I'm a film critic more so than I'm anything else, so the business-savvy thing for me to do here would be to have been writing during the ceremony so I could have an episode about it out right now. But then if I was business-savvy, more people would watch this channel, and I might have to start acting responsible for the things I say and do here, so instead I'm going to rant a bit about something a bunch of my friends and colleagues enjoy that I just can't get into and why that fact annoys me. So, to cut right to the chase, am I the only one who just doesn't get what the big fucking deal is supposed to be with the Mission Impossible movies? Because this has been bugging me since the whole thing started in 1996, i.e. I've been not getting this for about 22 years, give or take. Now, I want to be clear about something. I'm not coming at this as Mr. Academic Elitist High-End Film Connoisseur turning up his nose at the blockbuster action scene like, no, what is the appeal that all of these vulgar exercises and pyrotechnic cacophonies seem to hold for the plebeian masses? I mean, please, look who you're talking to. That a plurality of mainstream movie-going audiences enjoy the distraction of recognizable, attractive movie stars doing stunts, blowing shit up, defeating the bad guys, and saving the world has been a fact of the medium across every culture and era, and not even a particularly hard to understand one, though I do understand because I happen to like that stuff too for the most part. Suffice it to say, I get why global audiences keep showing up to watch the space pope here, Jackie Chan himself off skyscrapers in the context of big, loud, flashy spy movies. No, what I've never understood is why other film people, for lack of a better term, many of whom are much harder on the action genre than I tend to be, will consistently go to the mat for this franchise that, from where I sit, has contributed almost nothing to the lexicon save for 2 or 3 decently memorable set pieces and the persistence of an admittedly all-timer catchy-as-hell theme song that already existed thanks to the TV show it was based on. But beyond that, none of them are classics, none of them are the best work of any of the filmmakers who've helmed them, or the editors, cinematographers, choreographers, screenwriters, etc. who've banged them into shape, and none of them have featured anything close to an iconic, memorable performance from any of the actors. No, not even Tom Cruise, who's just doing the Mr. Ice Cold intensity thing that he busts out in his other better movies to punctuate shifts in tone to deadly serious from wherever it was before.
Kittredge, you've never seen me very upset. Colonel, Lieutenant Kendrick ordered the code red, didn't he? Because that's what you told Lieutenant Kendrick to do.
I'm quietly judging you.
But here, without anything just before it. Hell, only the first one even pretended to have an actual story, and that was because letting Brian De Palma do his deliberately convoluted, quasi-Hitchcockian misdirection thing in the context of a big giant action movie was part of the hook, and didn't end up really amounting to anything thematically or meaningful or particularly original apart from the surprise of pretending it was going to be an ensemble team movie and then killing everyone but Cruise right off the bat. Beyond that, Part 2's story is only memorable because of the audacity to just lift the entire plot of a different, very well-known, much better movie. Part 3 turns the fact that nobody cares about the stories in these things into a gag where you don't even really tell us what the MacGuffin does or what it's for or why it's important, and I defy any of you to tell me without looking it up what the hell Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation were about, because none of these are about anything save for the lip service occasionally paid to Ethan Hunt's supposedly unbending loyalty to his fellow IMF agents, and even that never really tracks because they're as one-dimensional as he is. Yeah, I don't want Simon Pegg's character to get killed because he's Simon Pegg, otherwise I could give a shit. Yet every time one of these is coming out, I get to watch what since 2006 has been collectively referred to as Film Twitter go nuts over it as though there's some unique special itch that only this franchise can scratch, and I've never really had it adequately explained to me. And yes, I do understand the outsized presence that Tom Cruise's stature as an ageless avatar of a particularly ephemeral masculinity has to men of my generation, but Mission Impossible doesn't even begin to represent any kind of showcase for his talents or abilities outside the hyped-out stunts, and at this point those either seem to represent a genuine death wish or further evidence that this person may actually believe that some extraterrestrial providence has exempted him from the laws of mortal men, and that's interesting from a perspective, but it's not a movie. In fact, more and more I feel like continuing to make these largely disposable, thematically empty movies represented Cruise backing away from the really interesting direction his career seemed to be heading toward at the end of the 90s.
Respect the cock.
I mean, at least the Bond movies have the awkward baggage of the character's origins as an ugly, id-driven, violently misogynistic, reactionary expression of wounded English post-imperial masculinity for dramatic seasoning. At least Rambo had, well, also all of that, but for American Vietnam bitterness. I mean, I guess on balance, Mission Impossible is a more worthwhile franchise than the Transformers movies, but on the other hand, the fascinatingly bizarre way Michael Bay processes narrative and character seemingly outside any recognizable framework of human comprehension at least makes those interesting, if perhaps not for the most desirable of reasons. The Die Hard movies had Bruce Willis' natural charisma and were all really well directed, well, the first 3 were anyway. By comparison, the soon-to-be 6 cinematic outings of Ethan Hunt are about as bland and safe as movies can get when you're still spending this amount of money on them, and there's really no excuse for this because Cruise himself is that rare breed of action star who's also generally regarded as a good to great actor in his own right and one of the biggest movie stars on the planet. If he wanted these to be better, they'd be better. He can, in fact, ask for the best directors and rewrites from the best writers, or failing that, if he's just really jonesing to strap himself to a plane and see if that won't kill him either, he could ask to do it in one of his good movies. Now, admittedly, it has in the past taken me some time to grasp the appeal when hardcore film nerd culture decides that this or that sliver of mainstream pablum is supposed to suddenly be a guilty pleasure now. Granted, in large part because my idea of a guilty pleasure tends to be a little more guilty.
John Stamos is Stargrove.
Blanche Stargrove.
Like, yes, it took me a while to come around on Fast and the Furious, i.e. this extremely dumb, super bro-tastic auto-porn franchise starting from a not terribly good movie in the first place, had morphed into something pretty unique and endearing over the course of its sequels, but that, at least, was grounded in the way it had managed to accrue a recurring ensemble cast that actually had terrific chemistry while also embracing its stature as an ironically campy self-parody without losing the earnest authenticity with which it centered the sincere commitment to the millennial ideal of diverse, self-selected surrogate family, aka themes, character, uniqueness, depth, all the stuff that the Mission Impossible movies have never had for the most part, so I can't fathom for the life of me why these two series seem to occupy the same pedestal of dumb action movies that serious film buffs enjoy when they couldn't be more different in quality, in my opinion. I don't know. We're getting the 6th one of these at the end of July, whether I like it or not, and since these things are generally not ambitious enough to be truly terrible, I doubt it'll be anything close to the worst experience I have in a movie this year. And to be honest, I really don't have a conclusion to arrive at in this. I just want to understand why. Hey gang, here's a question that keeps coming up. If your handle is Movie Bob, where are your movie reviews? Well, my old reviews are in a lot of places. You'll find many of them on my YouTube channel, but you'll find the brand new ones on Geek.com, an awesome site that's also your one-stop news source for science, TV, gaming, technology, nerd culture, the works. You can find all my reviews directly by going to geek.com/author/bchipman, because that's my real name, and you can get regular updates on all my reviews and all of Geek.com's other great content by signing up for their kick-ass newsletter at subscribe.geek.com. And don't forget to also subscribe to the Geek.com YouTube channel, where you'll find the videos that accompany my reviews and tons of other great content too. Remember, that's Geek.com, the Geek.com newsletter, and Geek.com on YouTube. Make sure you don't miss out on all the latest Movie Bob reviews. You can also check out my own new website, Movie Bob Central, where you'll find my blog, links to all my work, and shop for my books, ebooks, and future Movie Bob products. And please remember to like these videos, share them with all of your friends, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching another Movie Bob production.